Hi, my name is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and also proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed classical composer, and he is also the frontman, songwriter, and orchestrator for the acclaimed band, Symphonity. His name, Sean. For more on Sean, you can read more about him right below this video, but in the meantime, here is a sneak peek at the incredible talent of Sean and his band, Symphonity, with their song, Flipside.
Back in the day, you were so right. It all made sense with us as friends, we were so tight. Head in the stars, I was fighting all your wars. Losing grip, you cling and you trip, I'm living here never turning back, never turning back. That's the point of the return, now you see me for what I really am. It's the flip side of me. I won't give another chance to talk about all your dreams. I'm none of this postponement. The flip side of me. Now you'll see how much I've changed. Look how much I grew. Look how much you stayed here. And now today you seem so shocked by what you see. I made an act for you, but I made hell for me. The act is done, put my head back in the stars. The beast is out now, I'm alive and never turning back.
Well, hello, Sean. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing so much better now that I'm speaking with you, and I'm so excited that the audience just got just a sneak peek of you as part of your band Symphonity with the song Flipside. And just to let people know, you, Sean, are a classical composer, but with Symphonity, you are the frontman, songwriter, and orchestrator. I want to lean into just you for a second. When did you realize that you had a knack and a love for classical composition?
That actually happened probably in my early high school years, many years ago. We're not going to talk about how many, but in my youth, I was playing many different instruments growing up: piano, violin, oboe, trumpet, and I was just playing so many instruments, and it just kind of felt natural to experiment on, especially piano, and that's where I started writing. And initially just started, kind of improvising a little bit here and there, like I think most composers do, just trying things out on the piano and eventually writing them down. So that's kind of how I got my start as a classical composer.
Did you have any inspiration specifically growing up, Sean, musically?
Yeah, I would say growing up, absolutely, Chopin, Rachmaninoff. Those are probably the big two piano composers for me.
I mean, you
anyway.
can't go wrong with them, Sean.
You can't.
Now, when did you realize that in looking at your inspirations that you would be doing what you're doing now, but adding your own flavor to it? Because I really kind of look at what you do as kind of like a fusion of genres. Am I totally off base?
You're spot on. So I would say that it took me a number of years to arrive at that place in my life. It really kind of evolved as kind of a synthesis of various parts of my life coming together. I was, classical composer for years, and I, went through school and did all the training for that. But I also had kind of a love for songwriting on the side, and I picked up guitar by myself, and I liked rock music a lot. So I wanted to rock out. So I really tried to just write some songs, and I dabbled with it over the years. Never really felt like I came up with anything that was great, but I had a few songs that I liked. And it wasn't until I was I moved to New York City, and I was studying with the composer David Del Tredici, and I was learning orchestration. And that's what really kind of opened up my mind. I thought, well, I'm writing these orchestra pieces. What if I just took that and applied it to a song? And so I thought, well, yeah, what if I dust off one of these old songs I got and just, try it out. So I did, and I'm like, wow, this is kind of cool. So I did that with a few of them, and
I love that, Sean. And I also love with your childlike sense of wonder, you were able to, in that moment, look back to look forward. I've spoken with so many artists that throughout their careers and as they grew as artists, that sometimes they would have done something that, maybe they was a kind of like in the trunk, so to say, but that when they dusted it off with the new POV, and I love that for you, it kind of was the key to open a new door for you musically.
absolutely was. I had no idea what was. Once I did it, then I realized, wait, this is what I want to do. Now it all makes sense. And for me, I think probably the song that really is its story. It really started to click. I was maybe a song called "Night Through Day." It's just the longest song from our debut album, Intangible Dreams. And I always thought it was a little repetitive. It's like it's like a 7-minute long song. It drags on, and I didn't really know what to do with it as a rock song. It really just felt like it was too long and just this beast that I didn't know what to do with. But then I went, wait, well, I could add orchestration to this, and I think it would just be really cool. So I did it, and then it just opened up a whole song, and I started doing different types of orchestration here and there, and it changes and it evolves, and then now all of a sudden you have like this piece of music that actually makes sense. So,
Well, Sean, it's an ebb and flow, and frankly, it's a rhapsody.
yeah.
I think that you're a storyteller, wouldn't you say? I mean, within
yeah.
what you were able to add with your orchestration in that song specifically was a thread. Where we were able to, more than anything, go on an emotional journey that wasn't one note that maybe it would have sounded like without the orchestration.
You know the music. I appreciate that.
Well, Sean, I do my research. Who knew? But listen to me. I want to know, in moving forward, in regarding Symphonity, what you're most excited about with maybe some music you actually created during the pandemic that you're excited to release now more than ever. Because as we know, these past 18 months have been hard for humans and artists alike. But there is something about what you do with Symphonity that I look at more than music. It's more of an experience than anything.
If you've ever been to one of our live shows, I think it really feels like an experience for everyone who's there. So we haven't done that in a while because of the pandemic, but
well, I can feel it in my apartment on 57th Street. So if this, then what? I can't wait to see a live show. My mind's gonna be off, blown.
Anyway, to your point, I haven't done any music at all during the pandemic. Actually, that's a total lie. Of course, I've written songs.
Of course,
I've been working on that. And one thing I will say is that our last album, it was a big undertaking, and it took years to actually get it together and edit it, and it has full live orchestra on it. So it was such a beast, and it took forever to get together that I have all this backlog of songs from all these years. So now it's kind of like I'm picking out my favorites, and it's like some of them aren't going to make the cut, but it's like now I just have to like go with what's going to make the most sense for a new album or EP or whatever it is we decide to do. And I'm not attached to anything in particular. We might aim for like a smaller release at first, maybe an EP, but that's kind of what we're looking at. And it kind of involves grabbing a few of these. Some of them are older songs, some of them are newer songs though, because I started writing, like you said, I started writing, and now I'm really excited about some of this new stuff, and that's fresh, and I want to do that. So I think what people can expect from us is probably a bit of a combination of some older stuff, but then some newer stuff that I've written over the years, and no one will know the difference. Because
what I also love so much, again, going back to what unlocked your bliss, you're looking back to look forward, that even if these are songs that are going to make the cut, that at least they maybe would spark, again, that childlike sense of wonder of the possibility that you've never lost. I can feel it over this Zoom. And I just think that you are perfect.
Very perceptive.
What?
You're very perceptive.
I mean, I was a singer performer for 25 years, but as a director now, it's one of the reasons why I became a director, because, cool. I always want to just point out and affirm what I feel. And, if there's one thing I think I'm okay at, is I have good instincts when it comes to talent, but that when it also comes to good people. And I think you have a double combination there, Sean, that is
Thank
only
you.
going to allow your star to continue to rise, because at the end of the day, Sean, you're relatable, you know?
Yeah, I feel that's maybe something that sets us apart a little bit is the relatability of the songs, because so many of artists in our genre, like we're considered symphonic metal by most. It's this ethereal fantasy, beautiful music that all these bands come up with. And what I try to do is I tend to pull things out of that fantasy world, and I tend to grab chunks of our world. And it's less about but I still try to tell a story with it,
Well, Sean,
but
you're dropping the fourth wall. I mean, dare I
I
say,
am.
you're dropping the fourth wall in what you do, Sean, with Symphonity and everything else that you do, is that you're about the conversation, not talking at, but with.
Yeah, right. But anyway, as I was saying about this, I think what people can maybe expect is I'm gonna maybe be kind of weaving a more modern kind of fairy tale, because I feel like that's kind of what a lot of these artists go for, is that kind of a fantasy vibe, Lord of the Rings, it's that kind of music. But why can't we just talk about every normal day stuff, but have it sound like that? Why not have every normal day life be as epic as everything you see on TV and the movies? So
Because God bless America, if there's anything that's been more epic than these 18 months, I mean, come on now.
You have to learn to take what's mundane and make it awesome, right?
Sean, you are literally taking something from my playbook as a director. I love finding the epic within the intimate. And I think that's exactly what you're talking about. Finding the extraordinary in the ordinary.
That's probably exactly what I'm trying to go for.
Sean, we're going to collaborate on something, and I'm yelling at you because I just want to put it out in the universe now. But listen,
Sure.
I want to let our audience know for more on the incredible Sean. You can read more about him right below this video. Sean, thank you so much for your time today, and I'm so excited that we're connected now.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's a pleasure to meet you.